Welcome to my daily practice at Wendy Coad Art. If you find this video interesting or helpful, please consider subscribing to my channel and liking the video.
Hi, my name is Wendy and I'm an artist. I've been an artist my whole life and I am excited to invite you into my studio and show you my art practice. I paint every day and I do acrylic on paper. I also do stencils. I draw. I organize my studio space. I do a lot of things. For me, art is about problem solving, so there's always little tricks and tools that I can share with you along the way. So welcome. I'm so glad you're here.
Storage containers. Later? Okay, now bin, and it's nicely lit.
Today I'm really excited because I found a whole box full of my paintbrushes. I've been painting my whole life, and so I found a bag of brushes, and I thought, oh, this is a lot of brushes. I'll put them in a box and or a plastic bin. I've been organizing things around the studio, and that was that. But in fact, it was not the full paintbrush collection. So I see that at some point I have organized my paintbrushes and put them into, consolidated them. The Japanese paintbrushes, the finer, oil and acrylic paintbrushes, the palette knives and tools, the hardware paintbrushes, the long handle paintbrushes. Look at this one, the calligraphy paintbrush. That's a beauty. And brush cleaner. And here is, now this is a brush. This could be used for stencils. I do stencils the wrong way, or just my way. Stencil brushes are usually round, and what you do is you stipple. You use a technique called stippling, and you just, you put the paint on the end of your brush and you stipple, and that way the paint doesn't like slide underneath the stencil form. But not me. I stencil my way and I love it. And not only do I have those brushes, what have I got here? This looks exciting. Yes, more calligraphy brushes in a beautiful little case. I don't know if you can find these anymore. They used to be pretty easy to find. Look at these nice big brushes. And I've taken pretty good care of them, but they have been knocked around a bit. And I am not even sure that my container is going to be able to house these. But I want to organize them in some way. Let's see, where are the long handle paintbrushes? And will they fit? Well, they'll fit on a diagonal. It's not ideal. But it can work. I'm obviously going to have to use two storage containers. Let's get rid of that till later. Okay, now let me just quickly get some others. So this was the first bin, and it's nicely labeled, paintbrushes, I did not think of these brushes. Out of sight, out of mind. I have to say, it's sad but true. So I'm going to consolidate. Oh, paintbrushes and gloves. I talked a lot about these gloves on another video. These are the gloves that I got from, family and friends and thrift stores, and I think I've used them all up. You can see they're worn, and I do use them for when I paint. So these are kid leather gloves. They just don't make them like this anymore, or they're hundreds of dollars. And I'm getting low on the supply, because you used to be able to pick them up in thrift stores very easily, and not so much anymore. Yeah, look at that. I feel like the princess painter in my kid leather gloves, but I have plenty of cotton gloves too. Those are used in photography, in working with things that antique books and things, antiques, so that you don't get your greasy fingerprints on everything. I think I'm going to put the hardware brushes in one bin and the fine art brushes in another bin. I have plenty of hardware brushes. Well, it looks like that's what I've been using. This pure bristle, made in Indonesia. I think that's an older brush. You don't get pure bristle much anymore. There's one with one leg missing. And, brushes that I get from the dollar store. This is when I did stained glass, which I did for a little while, this is a flux brush. I guess it's easy to see, or it's safe to say, I never met a brush I didn't like. Here's a stipple brush. This is very common, and I think I got this at one of the, art supply or dollar store, but they're usually round and really blunt at the end, and you use them to, you get the paint on the bottom, and then you stipple inside the stencil. So if I ever choose to do stenciling in the appropriate manner, I will use the appropriate brush. But until then, I'm just going to separate. And I think the Chinese and Japanese brushes are going to go in a separate bin. And the pure bristle brushes. I have worn brushes down to nothing, just nothing. And little makeup brushes, although I think this sheds a bit. Oh gosh. Look at all these gorgeous, oh yeah, so here, I don't know how I got this. It must have been some kind of, 10 for $1 on makeup brushes. I've had these for decades. I'm not as fixated with makeup as I once was. This is a toilet brush, but it's never been used in the toilet. And yeah, sponges. That's another category altogether. Okay, well, I have my work cut out for me, but I'm really excited because I haven't seen some of these brushes for a very long time. And brushes are like old friends. They just are. This is a pure bristle brush. Not so much, but look at the girth of that brush. And we know when the name Stanley's on a brush that's a commercial brush. And another one, and another one. Some of these, and some of these are like lacquer brushes. You know, they're very specific kinds of brushes for very specific kinds of commercial painting, just like there are for specific kinds of fine art painting. Oh, I'm starting to wonder. And these are brushes. I can't believe this. I went to Japan years and years ago. And what did I come back with? Brushes, yes, Japanese brushes. These are bottle cleaning brushes made of natural bristles. They've been bent out of shape, but how wonderful are these brushes? Bristly on the edge, and then right at the end, you know, I should use all of these. Just use them. But I get a little precious about them. The memories. So, I mean, let alone cleaning bottles. Not that I have bottles to clean, really. Okay. More commercial brushes, I think. Yes. These are pretty nice. I mean, to replace these brushes, it would be quite a lot. This is a brush that I have. I don't know if you can see that I have. I've painted. It's a little bit of black here. This is the bristles here, and then I wrapped tape around to kind of keep the ends together. There's history to these brushes, and look at this one. One of my faves. This is a professional brush. Very good brush. More brushes that I've just painted and painted and painted until, oh, there's dust on those brushes. Painted and painted and painted until there's almost nothing left. Well, this is going to be the rest of my day, but I don't want to take any more time now. I'll take off my gloves because I am going to paint. And I'm going to paint on these two walls. I broke the spell. I broke the spell of the kind of preciousness that I was feeling. Standing on my stencils now, I have them drying on the carpet here. So I broke the spell of the preciousness of, you know, just things that I really liked. But as a whole, these weren't resolved. So, so that's good. So the good news is that's, you know, that's a move forward. The not so good news is that I have to resolve them now. And that's going to take some deliberation. But look at all the brushes that I have to facilitate that. I'm going to use some of these. Whether I use them, I mean, I'm going to use, yes, of course. And then I just thought, oops, do I want to get started with the brushes? Why not? Let me get a couple of things. Oh, I'm feeling all energized. These brushes have just given wind to my sails here. It's amazing. 4-inch brushes, 3-inch brushes. I probably should not have had them in bags for as long as I have had them, given that a lot of them are natural bristles. Let's just try a little 3-inch brush here. See how that goes. Okay, now I'm looking for the color that I want to make a 3-inch commitment, brushstroke commitment. It could be Arctic blue. We can just get started with just about anything. Now I could put this in a, a container, but it's pretty much the same thing, more or less. So I'm going to just go, see, I already have a lot of Arctic blue on these. Do I want a lot more Arctic blue? I can use a little bit more. It always amazes me. When I put the staples in, I'm very careful. I look, I go over. Sometimes I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 staples per page. Now I cannot find my staple gun. Well, it's lived this long without the staple, so I'm just going to continue. I know my staple gun is here somewhere, but since I have everything spread out, it really is a figure ground problem. Okay, well, I'll just use a push pin temporarily. I really have to do a little cleanup here. Works so well on the hollow core doors. Those doors are a little bit more resistant. But I have, I don't know, half a dozen of these 3-inch brushes. They're natural bristle brushes, so I'm going to keep going. Shortly, as soon as I get the end of this open. And add a little bit of water so that I can keep it pretty light. So I have a lot of this Indian yellow. I work with it a lot, but it really takes on a different tone depending on how much water accompanies it. It's more like a citrus wash. Well, things here in a big way. You know, these were kind of cool. This citrus wash is really warming it up. So I don't mind doing that, especially on the end there. Such an adventure. You never know what's going to work. And I wouldn't have it any other way, quite frankly. You know, I don't want to know, I don't want to be doing the same things over and over. I mean, I really admire artists who stay consistent, and there's definitely reasons to do that, especially when they've, you know, had success and they have an audience that demands that they continue to do the same things that they've been doing for almost all of their career. And you know, that's great. You know, that's a job, that's a livelihood, that's a career. But that's also a liability. You know, you can't really change things easily. And I never, you know, I always wanted to be able to grow and experiment, even if it was god awful. And trust me, some of it was. I mean, you know, there's plenty of artists who have done a very good job of mediating that, and you know, they've managed. Picasso, for one, you know, the biggest target for or example for that. You know, he changed styles regularly, and that was part of his creativity, and he managed to make that work. But a lot of times there's some resistance, either internally or externally, and you just have to, you know, you have to work with that. You have to negotiate that. So, but I too, I painted narratively for most of my career, and I just got a little tired of the narrative. I got tired of, you know, I making the stories and then inviting people to, I mean, making the stories literal, because representation has a literal component to it. I mean, there's literally people and objects and things, and you can, you know, you can stylize them hundreds of different ways, and you can go into all kinds of different variations on that. But I was really so excited to get back to abstraction, which was actually my original style right out of college. Well, right in college and right out of college. And you know, it took the narrative out of it. You know, it's just pure emotion. It's just pure experience with the principal elements, and so. And I've been having a good time ever since. And it's really reduced my consternation time, my, you know, my time spent trying to decide, you know, what goes next, or what's the conversation between this realistic object, person, thing, and the one next to it. I get a little bit of that on the stencils, which you can't even see now because I've got my tables full. But anyways, it's different strokes for different artists, and it's all good. It really is. Everyone can make a, you know, make a career, make a service, make a community out of just about any style. And so this is mine. So this is mine. Well, I'm going to end today, and I'm just very happy that you're here with me in my studio. So I will look forward to seeing you again. And don't forget, now go make art. So I'm so happy that you are joining me today and maybe other days too. I'll take you through my day to day as an artist, and I look forward to seeing you on the next tape. Thanks for being here.